You asked for a handy, and then
Respectfully.
she declined, and then you
Not so respectfully.
and then you respectfully left. Yeah. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Strongcast. It was tentatively named Strongcast, and now it's pretty much official because I made a logo and it says Strongcast. I'm not going back and changing it, so we're going to stick with it. So, welcome to Strongcast. Here we have Ashley and Steven, happily married, not so happily married. We're going to find out today. Their names on Instagram are, we'll put it up here. It is Veggie Lifter and Bum Muscle.
That's right.
That's me. Hello. How you doing,
What's up,
Strongcast
Brandon?
listeners?
Thanks so much for coming, guys. I'm actually really happy to have you guys down here because this was a really good time. You guys have a lot of really good energy, and it's really what I needed because we actually shot, I believe we shot our first YouTube today. We've shot 2 more before this. One of them we didn't really shoot. Brandon was kind of walking around the camera, and the second one, Brandon was chewing gum. So I think we shot our first YouTube video today.
Success.
You're gonna air that?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I think so. I think it was good, dude.
Tune in for that. You
You guys got to come back. I want to get some footage of you guys lifting as well because that would be a little more intense. I was doing like these sissy lifts. I'm sure you guys could pull some
It was
real
fun.
weight. I know you could pull. You're the national women's bench press.
Excuse me, I'll take over here. She's the national bench press record holder. Thank you.
Did you say natural?
Natural,
Meaning
yes.
no juice tested?
Meaning no juice tested.
Wow. Is juicing popular? Can we talk about juicing? Well, even if we can't talk about it, we'll just chop it out later. But I'm curious for myself personally. So, can people juice, and where's the limit? Like, for which federations can you juice in, and which ones can you not?
So powerlifting wise, the U.S. there's a lot of federations. There's like 50 or some shit.
Yeah.
But like the popular ones, especially in California, it's pretty saturated. We're kind of lucky where there's like a powerlifting meet every fucking weekend. I have a client in Nebraska who there's like 3 a year. So, but the USPA, USAPL is like completely drug free. They test everybody. And that's with like the IPF, which is the International Powerlifting League. They do like the world championships and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The USPA has a drug-free division and a regular division, which is non-tested. The drug-free division is relatively new, like 4 years ago, so records are like constantly being broken. That's where I had that record.
Is there a big difference between the drug-free and the non-tested one? It's like, oh,
Huge.
okay.
Yeah.
Really?
It's kind of like laughable. A little bit.
Percentage-wise, like 20%?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's for 2 reasons. One, since it's so new, like the records are still constantly being broke, whereas the other, it's been around for so long that the records just, and I just feel like the sport is growing so much and people are just getting fucking crazier.
People are training smarter and
Yeah.
smarter
Yeah.
and harder and earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, drug tested and drug free are 2 different things.
Yeah.
So just because you enter a drug
you
free
can be sneaky with
division, they can be sneaky with it. The cheaters are always one step ahead. So, and there's nothing wrong with either way. There's nothing wrong with being a natural athlete if you are truly a natural athlete. And there's nothing wrong with being a enhanced athlete if you truly are an enhanced athlete. But just know that when you're entering a division that's tested and you are using whatever method you can to not be tested, it's kind of defeats the
Cheating.
purpose. That would be cheating, I guess.
Because you're going up against people that are, probably a good amount of them are respecting the rules.
Yeah.
True.
The majority,
you would
I would
hope.
say.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going in with intentions to cheat, basically. You're like, I'm going to fucking fool these people. I'm going to take drugs and fool them.
Basically, I'm not good enough to go
Yeah.
into the open where you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want, but I will go into like the junior varsity and take advantage of them by changing my age, or in this case, cheating a drug test. So.
Yeah.
I made a joke. You saw the girl, or is a guy, who she got a sex change and then she went to compete?
Yeah,
That's fucking bullshit.
This is one of those topics that we try to avoid as gym owners because it's
Oh,
so.
really?
But that's fine. We can talk
No,
about it.
that's
No,
like,
let's get into
I
it.
think
Fuck it.
it's general consensus is that's bullshit.
So if you think about it, it's not an attack against transgendered people that the USAPL is not allowing them to compete. It's the fact that they need to take drugs to assert as part of their transformation. Usually is taking a drug which is banned. So whether it's a steroid, whether it's whatever, whether it's testosterone, whether it's estrogen, whatever you're taking in order to assume your true identity, XX or XY, whichever one you identify with, that's the actual part that's banned. They're not banning. Now, you could take that as into consideration that they're just banning the whole, transitioning process or, sexual identity, but I disagree with that. I think that those are the rules. And that is what it is. And they can compete in the USPA. Is that what it's called, the USPA? Mm-hmm. That's the division that Ashley competes in, where everything goes. And you're free to compete in whatever gender you would like. And you will be judged or not judged accordingly. Mm-hmm.
That's a complex mess. It's just
a mess.
Fucking mess.
It's a mess. And people are very passionate on both sides. Very passionate to the point there have been like protests. People will show up at meets and they'll sign up and then they'll go up to the platform and they just won't go on.
They'll
just time out because that's like a protest to let you know that this federation is not accepting transgendered athletes. They're not LBGQ2A supporters. They're whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it is what it is, right? There's going to be issues with that.
Yeah.
Already such a complex, confusing issue. So
it's hard to draw the line.
It's hard to draw the line, and we don't usually. It's just whatever you can do, you can do. Whoever you are, and you're just the numbers. You're not a man, you're not a woman. It's whatever you identify as is cool. So
yeah.
I think it's mostly the drugs that they're taking.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
but
drugs,
that's also tied into you know.
It's a complex mess, but
it's a mess.
If I were to slap my seal on it, I would say, just don't fucking, dude. Like, if you want to be a guy, like, just, I don't know. You got to do something else. I don't know.
It's weird. It's definitely, it's not weird. It's just a challenging issue to officiate.
It is a challenging issue, and even as I was saying that, I was about to stamp like an official seal, like one way or the other. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, wait, but I'm like still confused as I'm saying it. So
just also like to leave it at this, they just think of how confused you were as a teenager with everything that was going on. I was so insecure. I had no idea who I wanted to be, what I wanted to be, what was going on. So imagine if you had these sexual identity issues going on as well, not just gay or straight, but like, am I literally a man or a woman? Like, that was like always easy for me to identify with, but imagine if that was going on too. So now you're thrust into this world where you're dealing with that. So these people, they're going through it, dude. So it's like, it's easy to say, let's ban them, let's make them do this, let's have their own federation. That would be separate but equal. We all know that's not okay. So it's like, you know, we got to be as accepting as possible, and hopefully one day we'll all come to a general consensus on what's right and what's wrong. But for now, hey, come to the USPA.
I mean, they have in the Olympics.
They have in the Olympics. Did you hear about that?
No.
There was this. No, it wasn't a transgender. It was a runner, a sprinter, and her body naturally produced more testosterone than a normal woman. Natural, yeah. So, and she appealed their decisions on these failed drug tests up the line, and she lost.
But you can be transgendered and compete in the Olympics as well.
You can.
I'm not sure of like the exact standards, but I know that you can. So, I mean, I think that maybe they're just in the process of still adopting rules and regulations, and it's just like come and slap them so fast that they're just like all or nothing. But I feel like it's so hard to draw that line. I'm glad I'm not making those decisions. Yeah. But I feel like for right now, the USPA is an open door if those, you know, individuals want to compete in whatever classification they feel necessary.
Fuck that. I got more important decisions to make. How have you guys been married for?
Well, this is my moment. This is my moment.
Go ahead.
Is my moment. This is my joke. It's my moment. Oh, it's been about, we've known each other for about 3.5 years. We've been married for about a year.
No.
Yes. Correct?
It'll be 2 years on
Coming up on 2
New Year's
years.
Eve.
Coming up on 2 years. But it feels like 10 minutes.
It
feels like 10
love.
minutes. 10 minutes underwater. You see what I did there? That's my fucking joke. That's my joke every time.
Killed that shit.
That's my joke every time. Yeah, we met at...
We met in Las Vegas at a pool party.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Really?
He was like all fucking coked
Whose
out.
pool party
Did
was
you guys?
it?
It was daylight. Did you hear that? Those were her butt cheeks popping, just like they were that weekend. Because I got game.
No, let me tell the story from my point of view.
What's the setting?
So
It was my friend's bachelor party.
yeah, I went to Vegas on a whim. Well, I didn't want to go, but I had a friend from Ohio that was flying to meet me there.
Ashley lived in Vegas, basically. She lived in like Needles, bumfuck, Arizona.
And I went to Vegas every weekend because I had nothing else to do.
A little Vegas hoe. Pool party girl, there every weekend.
At this
raging,
time,
techno.
Were you a pool party hoe or not, for the record?
I was not. I was living in Arizona, and I was like over going to Vegas because I already had been going every weekend. But my friend already bought a plane ticket, so I'm like, fuck, I'll go. I left, got off my plane, didn't have an Airbnb, like found this random Airbnb as I was walking off of the flight, booked it. It was like some dude's studio apartment. I'm like, this is probably a bad idea, but I'm going to do it. So the dude, like, he had like a key hidden like in the bushes or some shit, and he was working.
Nice and secure.
Yes, very, very, very secure. He worked at daylight. So he was working till like 6 a.m.
Is that Mandalay Bay?
Yeah. Pre-shooting. Let's just put that on the record. So he got home at like 6 a.m. I woke up and I was like, all right, dude, nice to meet you. And he's like, hey, do you and your friend want to go to this pool party tomorrow or whatever? My friend was flying in that day. And I was like, all right, I'll go. So that was the only reason why I went. So it was all like happen chance. And then I met him.
Happenstance.
Chance, what the fuck ever. And I wouldn't let him fuck on the first date. He was real
Let's get back to
pissed.
meeting me. I was a young bone
Whoa.
muscle. I was in my prime. I was 26.
He was fat.
I was not fat.
You're 26.
I was gorgeous.
You were gorging. He was bulking.
All right, I was a little overweight. I was probably pushing 260, 270.
You're worried about
I
breathing.
was having a lot of mouth breathing problems. I was struggling to get air.
How old are you and how much do you weigh
I'm
right
30
now?
and I'm 260. So
Okay. You're still nice
but
and young,
so I was
dude.
at 27.
You're a young
20.
buck.
Yeah.
So,
He was
yeah,
a wet
exactly.
260.
A wet 260. All right,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, I'm still extremely young, extremely attractive, as you guys know. Well, you guys can't see me now, but you know.
No, they can't see you.
Okay.
You're right there.
So, nice. Hi. So I was even younger, and believe it or not, even more attractive.
Okay.
So you know, I was in the pool.
Positive recollection.
Ashley might call it waddling around. I call it bathing. It was just laying out. Had my hair down. I was really
You're getting your
enjoying
hair
myself.
braided
I was
by
also.
by a very large black woman at the time.
You gonna make fun of her weight too?
No, she was.
She was pushing 280.
She,
She's a super heavyweight
yeah,
for sure.
she was
But
braiding
yeah, I
her
was
hair.
getting. They're called cornrows in the community. So I was getting some cornrows done by my friend. Don't remember her name. Shout out. Huge black woman at Mandalay Bay. So I was sitting there, and what happened next?
And then your friend Albert was
Oh,
like,
yes.
"Hey, you're pretty buff. My friend Steven, he's pretty buff. You guys should go talk." And that's literally how we met. And we talked.
So they paired us up, and these pool parties are crowded and intense. And
So fucking crowded.
basically, I had been doing cocaine for like 3 days, and I hadn't slept. And I had some sunglasses on, and we were, enjoying ourselves. I used to really partake in activities like that when I was
He was
smaller.
fucking hammered, all
I was
right?
fucking wasted. Okay, so anyway, so had these nice sunglasses on, and we were talking in the pool, and we were vibing forever. Vibing with Ashley means Ashley was talking about herself consistently for about 2.5 hours, and I was just kind of nodding and interjecting. Oh, cool, that's nice. Way to go. Awesome for you. And occasionally she'd ask me something like, "Can you get me another drink?" Or "Can you move? You're blocking the sun." And
Shut the fuck up.
so, just kidding. So we're having this conversation. So and then what? How did it move on to get a little more?
My
intimate?
friend
One might call it heavy petting, intimate touching.
wanted to fuck your friend.
Oh yeah.
So we went back to our hotel room.
petting.
And then, so as my friend and his friend are fucking next to us.
I'm in the background going. So
In the same room?
you're
Yeah, in the bed next to us.
So keep going. I want to hear the butt cheeks clapping. So you're a doctor. A doctor.
Oh
She
my
came
God.
once.
What does that mean?
She came
Like
twice.
you have a prescription pad? Is it in this
She
apartment?
came 3 times.
Can you please take us to the apartment? Yeah. So that was going on, and
So we were making out. I wouldn't let him fuck. He got all fucking pissed.
I was okay. Look,
He's like, feel my fucking
hey,
boner.
let's not lie to them. Let's
Oh,
not lie to
man.
them. Let's not lie to the people. I'd also as part of this ritual of this bachelor party, we had all taken to Cialis, done a bunch of cocaine, and then been like, we're parting ways right now. We're gonna meet up at Mandalay
While his
Bay in a
married
couple
friend
days.
is next in the
Easy
bed
with the married
fucking.
friend. So yeah, that was going down. So I had taken to Cialis.
So I kicked him out of the room.
Basically, I told her.
We parted
I
ways.
put my foot down, guys out there. You can't let people fucking step on you, especially women. So I told her, like this. It's 2016.
You at
You're
least owe me a hand
You're
job.
at least gonna give me a handy before I leave this fucking hotel
A
room.
shrewd negotiator.
And I said, you can fuck off, have a nice life. And then he left.
And so I respectfully left. I didn't punch over like one of those buffet signs. I didn't try to sock a valet. I didn't end up running away without my shirt on.
You didn't go and jack off in the closet when you got back to your hotel room.
None of those things happened. I took it like a man. It's called taking an L. Put it behind me. Sometimes it'd be like that though, and you move on.
And then he stalked me, found my number, got.
So you guys left Las Vegas at this
So
point?
we parted ways and we left Vegas.
Let me just sum up the story. Here's what I got. So you were there by happenstance, and he was there for a bachelor party. You guys met at this pool party. You guys are both buff. The friends is like, yo, you guys are buff. You guys should go fuck each other and stuff. Ended up, your guys' friends got to know each other a little too well or something.
Yeah.
You guys happened to go back to the same room. We're there in the corner doing some.
She invited me
making
back to her room. That was where I thought, hey, I'm about to get it.
Uh-huh. Meanwhile, there's the beast with 2 backs being made. And you asked for a handy, and then
Respectfully.
she declined, and then you
Not so respectfully.
and then you respectfully left.
Yeah.
I did. Calm.
And then
I was
you guys
calm.
are back home now.
So
Just
she had
in
put her
short.
number in my phone initially during the beginning of this encounter because at the pool I was being a sweetheart. We were making out.
Did you? Here's a question though. Did you hit it off like this? Like, were you vibing off each other like this?
Yeah.
It's always kind of
Exactly like this,
Mm-hmm.
just from the
always been
get-go.
Mhm.
So that's fantastic. Like, you guys are very vibey people.
What can I say?
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I'm really easy to talk to.
Not everyone's vibey. Yeah, you're easy to
smart,
talk to. You're easy to talk to. I
ravishingly
think I'm
handsome.
easy to talk to. That's why I was like, man, when you guys were coming down, I'm like, oh, this is good. I was telling Brandon, I was like, I got a good feeling about this one.
Yeah.
It's like, let's not even plan it. Let's send it. Okay, you're back at home now.
So during the beginning of this encounter, when I was at the pool, making out. That's right. First date, hour in, already got it on a little bit. So she'd give me her phone number. She put it in my phone and said, you know, hey, in case we get separated, we were talking about going out to dinner that night and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, I got her number. But then, you know, when she turned down when we got in a little debate about the handy, or whatever you want to call it, you know, when she threw me out of the room abruptly, she grabbed my phone, deleted her number. So, and it wasn't, she had an iPhone. So, like, if you've ever had an iPhone, like, you can usually go through your call logs, and if it's not in your call logs, you can call and you can get, like, the numbers that you've had, you know, called. So, about 3 or 4 days later, I'm like, you know, forget this chick. You know, I'm thinking you have the Vegas blues, you're coming back, you're listening to, like...
Mind you, he went home and broke up with his girlfriend.
I had a girlfriend at the time. I had a girlfriend at the time. That was,
Plot
Snap.
thickens.
it was moderately serious.
They were fucking dating for 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
That's
this
a
is
true
a
statement.
whole
But-
piece of the story.
True statement.
Well,
It's a
no,
true statement.
the heartfelt takeaway from that is he went home, broke up with
I
his
was getting,
girlfriend.
hold on, I was getting into this. So look,
Okay.
I had the Vegas blues. So I came home and I was like, God, Vegas was so great. Why can't my life be like a coked out mess forever like that? I'm going to break up my girlfriend. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to do all this crazy stuff and I'm going to change. And I'm going to become like a CEO of like a CBD company and drive a Ferrari and just live a fucking bomb life. You know what I mean? That was what I thought I was going to do. What ended up happening was I dumped my girlfriend and I entered like a depression a little bit. And, you know, for like about a week, I was just like listening to EDM, not the happy EDM, like the slow, you know what I mean? Like the slow stuff. But I had the Vegas blues, dude. I was just like, it was like real like sad and just melancholy, like, you know, 100 beats per minute, not 128. So, and I was real bummed. And then, so I was like, dude, I got to do something about this. Like, I've never been one just to like make safe choices and just, you know, resign myself to like mediocrity or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I went about the process of getting her number back because all I knew is that her name was Ashley and she was from Arizona and she was originally from Ohio. So I didn't have all the details that I have now.
Were you on Instagram at that time or
no? No, I wasn't. Instagram
This was
was
3
not a
years
big deal.
ago.
This is we didn't do Instagram. So anyway, so I went to the AT&T store. They dumped the memory from my phone, but it was an iMessage. So iMessage and iPhone calls are a little different than regular phone calls. So basically, they dump it as a data package. So you get a shitload of phone numbers. Like I'm talking 60 to 80 phone numbers that you've called over the length of the phone in no particular order through. This is how it was then. This is 2016. So or 2017, somewhere around there. So I went about calling all these numbers, and you know, it's like, hey, this is like my ex-girlfriend's parents. Hi, how you doing? Is Ashley there? No.
No, you texted me.
Well, I kept calling the numbers, and then I found one that was an Ohio number, because a 216 area code in LA, it's 310. So
You were doing some stalking, basically.
this is pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah.
It gets a little more creepy here, I think. And then
Meanwhile, I kind of forgot about him already.
Really? You
Yeah.
forgot about him?
I mean, I
Did you
was-
really forget
You didn't
about
show
him?
him your tattoo?
Let's see the tattoo.
What tattoo?
Well, now it's a cover-up, but it used to be a
Uh,
picture of me
Oh, shut the fuck up.
lavishly
On the
getting my
day?
hair braided in Vegas.
Anyways.
Anyway, so I...
Where's it at?
No tattoo.
the unspeakable place. So anyway, long story short, I found the number, and I was trying to think of... I'm a man of few words, so I was trying to think of something to say to her that would kind of convey the message. And so I called, right? Or did I text?
You texted me and asked if it was okay if you called me. And I
Okay,
said
cool.
yeah.
And then what did I say?
And then you said
Very
some
nice.
sweet shit.
Like what? Do you remember?
Relatively speaking,
Okay,
you
so
said...
it's...
I'd like to renegotiate the handy.
Yeah. You said...
Hand job collection services, Steve.
Well, I think I already had looked you up on Facebook, and I knew that you had a girlfriend, which is one of the reasons why I forgot about you. 'Cause I
Oh,
was
you're
like,
fucking pissed.
fuck
huh?
that douchebagger.
You saw that shit. You're like, fuck this.
yeah, I was like, typical fucking
Facebook's
dude.
fucking rat.
But you had told me that you came home and broke up with your girlfriend because after meeting me, you knew that there was something else out there for you, and then you couldn't stop thinking about me, and all you wanted to do is come visit me. And then we texted and talked on the phone for like 2 weeks, and then I finally let him visit me.
It was like a month.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. And then he flew out to see me. I got a hotel room just in case I was going to like make him stay there separately. But we ended up staying there together.
Was I a completely different person when you met me?
Well, you finally got to fuck.
Ah.
And then
Yeah.
and then we
Yeah, I
started
did. You guys hear that? Touchdown, motherfucker.
And then after that weekend, we had been together ever since.
Basically inseparable.
Yeah. We flew to see each other every weekend, either him flying to me or me flying to him.
Which states?
From Arizona, I was in Phoenix, to LA. It was mostly.
You lived in LA still.
Yeah.
I lived in San Pedro.
It was like a 45-minute flight, and Spirit at the time, it was like $50.
Damn.
It was like the price of fucking dinner, and we could spend the weekend. And I had like Mondays off where I worked at the time, so it was easier for me to come in on like.
But what about the airport? Like, did you still have to like spend like 2 hours in the airport to fucking get on the plane and stuff?
Phoenix is so easy. It's like the
So it was a
Long
quick
Beach
job.
Airport. I don't know if
And
you've
we
ever
both
been.
got a pre-check.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so it's just.
When he flew, I didn't understand LA, and I would like book him a fucking flight at like 6 p.m.
On,
and
like,
he
a
gets off of
Friday.
work at like 3:30, and he'd have to go home, change, and I'm like, why is this so hard for you to get to the fucking airport? And like now I'm like, oh my god, you're amazing for making it all of those times to LAX.
I would do things like I couldn't find parking, so I'd just like park my car at the end of the aisle and just hope that no one knew I created this parking spot. It was always there when I came home. It always seemed to work out. As
Yeah.
late as I would be, or as tired as I was, it always seemed like it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was cool.
So
Here we are.
yeah, and then
That's a true
that
love
job
story.
That job ended, and then she
And then
tentatively decided to.
When did
travel
you?
together.
Yeah, when did you move?
So I was
What was
doing
that just-
travel physical therapy at the time. So it's basically like travel nursing where you take like 3-month contracts in different places.
Oh, really?
But that job, they just extended my contract, and then they actually cut it early, which happens all the time because they wanted to get someone in before like the holidays.
They cut it early.
Like my contract was ending in like the middle of December, but they let me go like the beginning of November.
Did they pay you out the contract?
No,
or-
they just have to give you like a 2 weeks notice.
Oh.
But they
Your rate-
want.
your pay. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but your pay rate is a little higher because you're like a temp, kind of, and there's like some tax incentives and stuff like that, so that they can, when they terminate you, it's not like this huge. Oh my God, I was barely making it. It's like, oh, this excellent opportunity's over. Let me jump on to the next
Yeah.
one.
It's
So
very-
that happened a little early for us. I
Yeah,
remember.
it's very common. And then I was already in the process of getting my license in California. So I wanted to go to Northern California first, but I was like, fuck that. I don't want to go when it's cold. That's the whole reason why I moved in the first place. So I was like, I'll go to the LA area. I'll stay with you. We'll like test these waters, see how it goes. Because I wanted to travel, and in physical therapy, there's so many different arenas you can work in. As far as like job setting, I wanted to try them all before I settled into one.
Name a couple so they understand what arenas means.
Like outpatient, skilled nursing facilities,
So they'd be like in a hospital
hospitals.
or at an old folks' home that they're redoing people's knees, or sports medicine. There's like a lot of different ways that she can practice her use her doctorate. So.
And then I found a job at this hospital that I loved, which so happened to be by him. But I had like 3 or 4 shitty fucking jobs in LA.
So you're a nurse, or
Physical
you're a
therapist.
physical therapist
Same,
at a hospital though.
yeah,
So you're kind of like a nurse.
No.
No, not really.
A doctor.
Okay. You're a doctor.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
So,
Go ahead. Sorry.
so let's say a patient comes in,
Mhm.
and would you see them right off the bat? I'm just curious. I'm trying to like piece together. So what was like a day in the life of work?
Explain the
you know?
difference between the doctorates real quick. I think that's
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's 3 different types of doctorates.
Okay.
There's a medical doctorate, a clinical doctorate, and a PhD. A medical doctorate is what we all know as doctors.
They can give me the prescriptions.
Yes, they have to do a medical residency where they can perform treatments and prescribe prescriptions.
That's right.
Physical procedures. A clinical doctorate is what I have, where I can practice clinical medicine, which doesn't involve like
No prescriptions.
no prescriptions.
Unfortunately,
I prescribe exercise.
Oh,
The best
which is the
Yes.
best, really.
I can perform like physical procedures, but not like surgical procedures. And then a PhD. Well, and to get your clinical doctorate, you have to have a certain amount of clinical hours, different than a residency. And then PhD is where you do a thesis or a dissertation, where you're basically like a master of knowledge in one area. So those are the differences. So for PT, basically what I do is I restore and rehabilitate different levels of function depending on what has happened.
So when someone would walk in the hospital, who would see them first? They get seen into a room, right?
So if I'm seeing people in like the acute care setting, so say you came in for a broken hip,
Yeah.
you would get seen in triage by like the medical providers.
Okay.
And then sometimes they would call us down, like if you were getting discharged, you just had a sprained ankle and you needed crutch training or something. But say you got out of surgery, you see me first and I get you up and get you fucking moving.
I get it.
So along the whole continuum.
So like in the movies
healing.
where you see like, let's say like someone's boxing and they get fucked up, they're in a crutch thing. That was you next to them, like putting them through physical therapy.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're like Rocky 4. Wait, no. Creed died in that one. Never mind. We're like Rocky 3 after Clubber Lang.
Actually, I love watching movies that have physical therapists, and I'm like, that's so fucking wrong the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
But
That's always when you're, definitely. Same thing for like physics. If you watch like a science movie where they're like science fiction, they can do all this crazy shit. You're like, that's not how that would happen.
Yeah.
That defies all laws.
I know.
Yeah, that ruins movies though, doesn't it?
How'd you guys start the gym together?
Oh.
Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, I would. I wanted to ask you. I'm on the fence. Like, I'm unsure, like, which things that I should talk about if they're appropriate. You know what me and Andy talked about when he was here? We went over 2 of the hottest subjects of the week. We went over the Flexitron Rodin thing.
Yeah.
And then the Larry Wheels thing.
Yeah.
We talked about both. He was super respectful and very light.
Yeah.
Let's get your opinion on that first. I mean, it's just a hot topic, and I'm super interested in it because the dude commands a lot of respect. And you're a female, and you're a male. So do you have differing point of views on this? Because it's rape, and for any woman, you say rape, and it's like, nope, fuck that motherfucker. Like, even if he's fucking innocent,
I don't.
lock that motherfucker.
Are you talking about the bodybuilder dude?
Talking about the bodybuilder guy.
Oh, you don't know who Sean Roden is?
So he was arrested.
No, he told me about it. I have limited opinions on both for several reasons. One is because, like, people have just the way people look at, like, celebrities, whether they're Instagram celebrities or someone that they look up to that has those attributes.
Professional athletes.
Yeah, they're highlighted in a way where they can do no wrong. So if they do something wrong, it's just like the shadow is cast that much larger. Like, if you line 20 people up, has everybody's fucked up at some point? Yes. And I feel like these people are chastised that much heavier, but also that is the burden of being a celebrity in some way. So I feel like
let me pick this up. I know what you're trying to say. So, like,
can I finish?
I think you almost nailed it perfectly. I don't want to stand up for too long because we already talked about it, and I feel like I don't want to fucking be the guy harping on these motherfuckers over and over. But I think I like what you said already.
But I just also feel like pick who you look up to wisely, and like I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. Like, there's 2 sides to every fucking story. Like, maybe she was wrong, maybe he was wrong. The rape thing, I don't really know. I think it sucks that he got his fucking pro card and all that bullshit taken away.
I agree with that one.
But I just feel like not everyone that you look up to is a fucking hero in real life. And sometimes it's a hard lesson to learn, but I feel like it's a good lesson to learn that you can't just trust everyone you see on TV or social media to be a good person.
It's where we're going wrong. It's like everyone, you look up to, like, professional athletes like they're supposed to be these huge role models, and they make these sensible choices. They're gladiators, and they get more and more violent and aggressive as the sport gets more and more violent and aggressive. So bodybuilding may not seem that violent and aggressive, but it's OCD and it's laser focus, and you're able to put yourself and your needs over everything else. Footballs, they're fighting, essentially. Fighters are fighting. So, I mean, should you want to grow up and be that, or should you tell your kids they want to grow up to be that? But this is where it gets heavy, because, okay, let's pick someone that you should grow up and be like. Let's pick the president. Do you want to do that? You know what I mean? That's where it's like, where are our role models coming from? So it's up to you to kind of, like, I always think when I approach these situations that someone might be looking up to you. Someone might be looking up to you. A lot of people look up to you. They tell you that. So it's like you should always be the person that you needed when you were young, when you're thinking about, when you're acting and you're doing this stupid shit.
It's important to be a good role model.
It's important to think about, like,
Consider
people are,
that.
the things you do and the things you say, they're affecting people. So on the way you carry yourself, and word, there's never a closed room where word's not going to get around. Like, everyone's going to find out about everything that you do. So it's important to not let people down that are counting on you, because that shit's disrespectful. Now, whether or not it happened, who knows? That's not our job to decide.
point.
But also, bodybuilding is a pageant. It's about, he's Mr. Olympia if he wins. Yes, it's super competitive. Yes, it's very subjective, but there's always a clear winner. But this is the thing, though. It also comes along with your personality. You are Mr. Olympia for the year. You are the representative of the sport of bodybuilding. They can't have someone in that position, guilty or innocent right now, if that's their business model, they can't. That's their business model. You know what I mean? He'll never make the same amount of money again. His career is probably tarnished to the point where he will.
Well, let's move off this subject. But here's what Andy told me. He said that he passed. So first of all, the lady who was convicted her and her family or whatever were convicted of fraud at some points, and then also he passed 2 lie detector tests.
They're inadmissible, though.
What?
A lie detector test is like inadmissible in court.
Inadmissible?
Inadmissible. And you can't use it,
Really? You can't? I feel like that's a huge... If you pass a lie detector... I feel like I would fail a lie detector test. You ask me if I don't know. All right, we had a small camera outage. But we're back.
You're gonna edit out all that stuff.
Oh man, I'm
that I said
gonna
about
edit
the
it up.
Jews,
It's
right?
gonna be
Okay.
so good. We will not
They're
leave
great people.
anything
They're great
anti-Semitic.
people.
You look a
Shalom.
little bit Jewish right here. The beard. You're one little curly sideburn away from
From
being
being a
full
citizen,
Jewish.
yes.
Yeah.
And I no longer have my foreskin. High five.
Congratulations on no foreskin. All right, let's go. Last thing we were talking about is we need some really thick stuff here, man.
Oh God.
We were talking about how what was the last thing we said? We said, what's the worst thing you did when you were a kid?
I was hoping that he was gonna forget this.
I want to hear the story.
No, we haven't heard. Yeah, that's where we left off.
Okay, so like as I was saying, I still am insecure. A little bit of a bully, and
You were a
this is-
bully?
I was a bully because it comes from insecurity. So I used to had this girlfriend relationship, whatever you want to call it. I was probably a sophomore in high school. This always comes up when I think of the worst thing I ever done. It was just the way that I treated this girlfriend's little brother. He just looked up to me so much, and he wanted to hang out with me. You know how kids are. It's probably like, I don't know, bad with kids' ages. Waist high old, however old that is.
12.
I don't know. Maybe I was like 12. He's probably like 7. Just old enough to like want to run around. And I lived in the mountains then, so it'd be like he just wanted to hang out and build forts. And I would just like bully this poor kid, and I just wouldn't let him be a part of. And it just like every time I think of my life and all the stupid things I've done and the worst things, crash cars and done all this crazy adolescent behavior, I think of that as being the worst thing, just the way I treated this poor kid. His name was Forrest. That wasn't his fault though. His mom was retarded, I think, but he was a sweet kid. And if you're out there for us, I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, Forrest.
That was the worst thing you did. Is you were
Just
mean
feel
to
like
another
the way that I was,
Really?
I treated him for the summer. It was just like,
Yeah, that's fucked
and
up.
that what we were talking about before the mics were hot was, when you look up to people. Was this on whatever? When you look
We
up
might
to someone,
cut that one out, but yeah.
yeah. Well, we were talking about idolizing people and athletes and all this stuff, and maybe you should pick and choose who you idolize. And I was just thinking about what you said or what I said. You should be the person that you would need when you were younger. So, because you never know who's watching. So, it always makes me feel a little emotional too. When
Yeah.
I talk about that. So,
Did you get a lot nicer or something? Like
Yeah, you just-
recently? Like what happened?
you just
Because you
grow
make
up.
yourself sound like a dick back in the day, but I'm not seeing the connection to it.
Steven was a different person.
Were you?
Yeah,
You
before.
got a lot nicer, huh? You're a fucking sweetheart now.
If I had to correlate it with when you started bodybuilding, like he used to do drugs and drink a lot and party excessively and get arrested.
I was a
and get in
typical
trouble.
California guy. That's how we roll.
Typical San Pedro fucking punk.
Hey, shout out to the city.
The way that people or the way that he described his upbringing to me is like very fucking crazy and chaotic and erratic, and
My behavior manifested that
yeah,
kind of.
and it could have kept getting much worse. Like how many times were you in jail? Like 4,
A good
5, yeah.
few.
That was
Yeah,
the next
a
question.
few.
Have you ever been arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch
Let's dive
times.
into that one.
But
bunch
then
times.
finding bodybuilding really was your outlet to not like change your life or have a new direction, but it gave you a different focus.
Yeah, I feel like it allows you, when you find something that you love, it allows you to see your strengths or weaknesses. So, with bodybuilding, it was the routine. And that's something I'm really good at. It's just kind of like putting my head down, becoming a good soldier, and doing the work, and not really worrying about 10 steps ahead, just worrying about 1 step ahead. And then you're able to kind of develop, some success to the point where you're focused on this 1 step, but you look back and you took 10 steps. And, that kind of came out. And through that, I kind of found myself as, I'm more of a leader and people listen to me. I'm a little charismatic. So I could kind of, your skills are, when you identify better with your skills, you're less insecure about what you don't have because you know what you're strong at. So you know what to ask for help with, as opposed to just kind of like shitting on everyone you feel is better than you. So
You're a nicer person now.
I guess subjectively, am I?
You're really.
I mean,
much
I would
more
say I'm
nice
fucking
person now.
wonderful.
You're
a
wonderful
pleasure.
now.
Would that be?
Yeah.
Awesome, greatness, something.
Greatness and
You're the
something.
fucking- All right, we needed just a bunch of back-to-back hard-hitting subjects. I want to do the arrested one. You said you've been arrested multiple times, but before we do that one, did we land on the moon?
Next question.
No, come on.
Of course, we
Did
landed on
land
the moon.
Okay.
Now, is our government run by a bunch of reptiles?
Yes.
Yes. But before they take us off the air, that's true. That's true.
This is what we need. Some real
Trust no one.
controversial
Trust
stuff,
no
man.
one.
You know what people sit through every single day is the same shit one day after the next. It's all the same shit. So when
is.
they hear something controversial, it's just what they need. So
Yeah.
that's what you need to bring them right now.
That's what you got to bring out.
Men in Black, aliens.
No, it's worse. Lizard people, reptilian overlords.
You think so? You've been
Rotting
on YouTube
flesh.
a lot?
Rotting
Coneheads?
flesh.
You know, when
Coneheads?
I was So I was in 8th grade, and then I got sent to a continuation school, and I did that for about 2 years, and I got sent. So when I was about 14, I got on independent studies. And I was smoking weed every single day. So I was at home every single day, and I moved away from all my friends. I moved every single year. I got on this independent studies. I moved away from my friends. I smoked weed every single day. And all I did, I'd smoke weed, and I'd surf, and I'd go on YouTube. And I dipped into some of the Lizard, Overlord stuff for sure. That's when I had to actually turn it off because I was like, these motherfuckers go too far.
It's just too much.
It goes way too far. Where are you getting this information from? Is it YouTube?
If I reveal my source, they might come into this room and take me out. I also just want to bring this up, how crazy it is in your life. So you smoke a lot of pot. And I'm sure people would tell you keep smoking weed. You're not going to, make anything of yourself. You're just going to become a loser forever. And now look at you now. It was literally the vehicle to which you rode to success with. It's kind of an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to spike the football in their faces?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I got kicked out of that. So I said I went to the continuation school for 2 years. I actually got kicked out because I was talking about weed, and I said I wanted to grow a bunch of weed and stuff like that.
Oh, God.
The first time when I started growing weed, that was my first little bit of success for sure. I still don't see myself as super successful. Other people may have their own things, but I'm telling you, when I observe it, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's always different from your own perspective, but me, I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's always better to operate from a place that you ain't shit because then you have so much more to grow. And if you're always operating from this place where, look at everything I have, then you're just constantly on the step and not taking the next step.
Yeah, so I don't see it like that at all.
I made it.
Yeah.
I see just more work to be done for
That's
sure.
Perfect. That's probably why you are where you are.
Yeah, probably. It's like a bit of a condition, You talk to a lot of successful people, they'll tell you they don't really feel like that much. They always feel inadequate, so they're always trying to one-up themselves, or they always see that there's somewhere to improve. They need more money, more muscle, whatever it is, right?
Reaching for the next, your reach out exceeds your grasp.
When you're exactly.
You need a little
bit
bit
of
of
a sickness, dude.
Yeah.
Because it leads to unhappiness. Because you're I want this thing, and then you get it, and you're I want the next thing.
Yeah.
And it's where's the happiness? It's is that the next thing, the next thing, the next thing?
Yeah.
All right, so the government's run by lizards. We'll move off that subject. Did we land on the moon? We landed on the moon. What about the Earth? Is it flat? Or is it round?
Flat earther?
It's got to be. Well, let's just put it this way. If I dump water on the ground right now, would it pool up or would it run off to the side? That's all I'm going to say about that. Use your best judgment. Smart people out there, and listen to the Strongcast. You guys figure it out for yourselves. When you step on the ground, is your foot flat or does the toe hang off the ground about an inch or so? Think about it, guys. Use your heads.
Flat earther.
That'll be the one thing they take from this podcast. Bum muscle is a flat earther. Flat earther.
Okay, so let me tell you about Steven's special skill.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So Steven has a special skill that it took me a little bit to identify, but now I think it's comical, and I only let people in on it for a little while, or let him do it for a little while. So Steven can take anything, like an inanimate object or a bridge that we're seeing, or a story that he just manufactures, and make it sound so fucking real that you go and Google it yourself. And he's just a very good fabricator.
He needs to be YouTubing then.
And to the point where sometimes he's saying things, and I'm like, is he just fucking bullshitting me or not? But he's the best bullshitter I've ever met.
Dude.
Ever met.
Well, it's because I also have filled my head with useless facts. In this day and age, there's just useless facts everywhere.
That's
so,
one of your other
speed,
secret special
dude.
skills.
If you got all the way to the lizard and the government you were diving deep.
Don't even get me started on gang stalking. Gang stalking is a thing.
Gang stalking?
Yeah.
What's that?
If you walk outside, what time is it? It's 5 o'clock. I walk outside, I see a gardener. Why are they gardening at 5 o'clock? They're watching me. Then I go to Jack in the Box, and she's on the radio. She's not operating the drive-thru. She's telling the next people that I'm on my way home. The gangsta, Google, just YouTube
That's people
it.
who have psychosis.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's people that think that they live in the Truman Show. It's called gang stalking.
Yeah.
Really?
And it's debatable whether, do your own research. I'm just saying. Do they garden on Saturdays and Sundays, or are they watching you?
But the reason why his shit is so believable is because he does have a very large repertoire of useless fucking facts. Where, he will throw a fact at you, and you're like, really? And it's true. So it's really hard to decipher what's bullshit and what is this random knowledge that you have acquired.
You're going to have to start YouTubing right away. Because that's exactly what YouTubers need to do. They need to take something and give it a twist.
Yeah.
They need to look at a car seat and go, I just want to curl up in this car seat like it's a hammock. Or just go on and on and on about it's making the mundane look, fun.
You're good at that.
I just want to make a comment. What was that thermogenic over there?
The what?
The thermogenic, that pill?
That's the rising one.
The Rise Inc.?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude, I just took
Rising.
I took 3 of those capsules. That's a serving size, and I'm freaking out right now. I'm hot.
You're pumped?
I'm pumped up.
You're
I'm
anxious?
burning fat. I'm sweating. I'm just like, swear to God, that's a gnarly product. Take it easy on that.
One Raven.
Feeling anxious. We're talking about
Yeah, man,
you know,
Casey
the government
was
and stuff.
like-
I'm fucking freaking out.
I took some of that. I was like, so it's cold in here, and I was sweating. Like,
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah, those ones are hardcore.
It's gnarly. That's why this
He
conversation is
actually
picking up
just
a little bit.
he actually just had a company. You see the big one on the bottles there. He had a company called Rule One, I think it was, and they told him they sent him a cease and desist saying that he couldn't use the one. Did you see that? You follow him
I
at all?
didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Because
That's
the
cool, though.
Redcon one, or
It wasn't Redcon. It was so Casey, that one-legged monster, has that Rising Labs, and he just launched this product, and it has a big one on it. And a company said, "Hey, we use a one like that.
fuck.
You can't do that anymore."
Stupid.
So yeah, that was some bullshit that just happened recently with that. Not sure where I'm going with that, but he does hit these products pretty hard. I was
No, it's
actually pretty
legit.
impressed.
It is
Yeah.
a legit combination.
I know you're
of
sweating.
herbs.
A few
I'm feeling
people.
it. I'm
Are
burning
you?
some
Yeah.
fat. I'm burning some
You're a
fat.
big fucking dude too. You think you're burning fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw you walk over there and pop some. What was he doing?
I wanted to make sure I was nice and alert for this.
yes.
This.
He also has a touch of narcolepsy.
Do you really?
I just fall asleep at all times. I can fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
He
this will
can-
keep you stimulated.
Yeah, now I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready,
Alright,
I'm
let's
ready to go. That's
fucking
for
go.
sure.
Let's hear about the time you've been arrested. Let's stick to the best one.
Which time? For
The-
what?
I think
The best one. The best time.
the Meadow one is a funny one,
Which one's that?
or the Judge one.
Oh, the judge one.
No, the Meadow one where you're like, "What about my dog?"
Ugh. They're one and the same.
Oh, okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah, they're. So I used to like. Okay, first of all, who doesn't like a good road rage incident as a young?
Oh,
God, I
yes.
fucking love it. You in the Ferrari, you just pull up alongside some old lady and just give her the fucking.
No,
bird.
I'm
Just-
not a
no?
road rager, man. But
That would be me in a Ferrari.
He's
So,
the worst.
I was riding shotgun in somebody's car, and it was a woman, and she was getting a little aggressive with this driver in a Porsche. And, you know, a couple turns later, the dude stops in front of us abruptly. And I don't know if you're, you know, with it or not, down with the kids, hip. But if you're hip, someone stops in the road like that, that means you're going to get out and throw hands. That means that's time to go. It's go time. I was smaller then, so, you know, I love to fight and all that crazy stuff and act like I'm a belligerent asshole. So, I mean, it's 2:30 on a Wednesday. I didn't have a job at the time, so, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to get in a road rage argument with somebody and I'm driving a Porsche. So, you know, anyway, so he stops, opens the door. I look at her like, what am I supposed to do here?
She looks at you like,
Like,
"Go."
get the fuck out and,
It's a chick.
and defend
A
us. It's a
chick.
woman, yes, it's a woman. We
His
call her woman
ex-girlfriend.
now. My ex, she was an aggressive woman, but she was a
Crazy.
woman, so she told me to get out and, you know, defend her honor, respectfully. So,
you fucking pussy, get out of the car and
so
fucking
yeah, so
fight this
I had a
motherfucker.
tape measure in my hand because I was measuring something before I got in the car. So I get out of the car and I run up to the window of the Porsche because I'm going to tell this like little old man. I can see the back of his head. I can tell he was like a little balding old man. You know that he shouldn't drive that way and he should treat me with some respect. So I run up to the car and the door's open because he was actually getting out to visit a friend. And it's this little old man in a suit. And I lean in the car like about to give him, you know, some advice, and he had a gun, pointed the gun at me. And so I was like, I've had a
Holy
gun pointed at me a
shit.
couple times before, so I was like, he's probably not going to shoot me right now. I wasn't inside of his car, I was just...
But he fucking
Yeah,
could
but he
have.
brandished it at me aggressively. Dare him. And so I like step back, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, I start kind of retreating, gonna get my bearings, and then, you know, make my rush, or whatever the fuck I was gonna do.
Fucking-
And yeah, so I get back about 10 feet behind the bumper, and I'm like, you know, my adrenaline's kicking in, I'm bouncing around, and I take the tape measure, and I just bank it off the back of his car, like a little 911, and I hit like right above the windshield, or right above the back window on the roof, big old dent. It was like a 30-foot tape measure. And he gets out, and he like holsters his weapon, and he's got a badge. And he like, you know, you're fucked now. Like, I'm a judge. You know, this is, yeah, so you're going to wait
Well,
right
he
here,
fucking
and we're going
pointed
to
a
call
gun
the
at you.
police. Yeah, but he's like, I was like, you pointed a gun at me. What were you doing? And he was like, well, you know, I thought you were coming to get me. Like, I'm a court official of the court. And, and it turned out later he did, like, death penalty stuff. So he was worried I was somebody's relative coming back to, like,
oh my.
you know, he did life sentences or whatever. So anyways,
Huh.
so I wait there like the gentleman that I am for the cops to come. Because he can't point a gun at me. He can't point a gun at someone in California. I still thought I was in the right. And, you know, he gets there and, you know, it's everyone's like, the cops pull up and there's a gun, right? So everyone's like, stop where you put your hands up, all this crazy shit. And I put my hands up and then he gets out and he's got his badge. And they're like, step over here, sir. And then they're like, you, pointing to me, put your hands up. interlock your fingers, walk backwards towards the car. And he's like, no, I have the gun. So we're sitting there and we're hashing everything out, and they're taking like statements from everybody. And in the process of this, I lived close by. I was able to skirt away. Went to my house, but I left my girlfriend there. And, she was loyal. She was a loyal woman, but, the law is the law. She was going to obey the law. So she, when they asked where I went, she told them who I was and where I lived. And they came to arrest me. And there was a lot of them. There was like 6 or 7 of them. And they, I don't know why you like this story so much. It's so sad. So, like, I had changed my clothes like it was going to, I didn't look like this. I thought I was going to blend in or something. And so they're beating on the door, and I open the door, and they just rush in, and they arrest me. And they, rough you up a little bit, throw me on the ground. Damn. And I have a dog, and he's 13 now, but he was very young then, 6 or 7, but like a pup, and it seemed. And I was like, they're gonna take me to court. It's Thursday. I'm gonna be there till Monday. What are we gonna do about this dog? And she just like grabbed the bag of dog food and just sliced it open and dumped it on the living room floor, and said he'll be all right for a couple days. And then I went to jail.
What?
And I was in jail for like 45 days for that.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I was like, turned out he was a judge. Turned out I owed him $900 for his the roof of his car. Had to take some anger management classes, and I went all the way to Wayside, which is the jail that's out in Lancaster.
Damn.
And it was fucked.
I don't like that story. It's just impressionable.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was
'cause
fucked
he's a
up, and my
judge.
poor dog was just there for like days at a time before I could reach a phone, right? Because my ex, who was loyal as she was, and as much as she cared about me,
She's a crazy piece of
she
shit.
was a crazy bitch. She took off. I remember, I think I might have called her, or maybe I called my dad to go and take care of my dog for the weekend or whatever. And then
Metal's
ended up
still alive
staying
and
months.
well.
He made it though. He made it. Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
No?
Yes. Twice, but I got let go because it was Ohio. I didn't get arrested with
really?
the drunk driving thing.
This Ohio thing is ridiculous.
I know.
It's a real deal, huh?
Little white suburbia. 9th grade, I went to a homecoming football game, drank a whole liter of Kamchatka, which is like the cheapest, shittiest convenience store vodka. A liter. It was like one of my first times drinking, so I didn't know the difference. So I just drank the whole fucking thing.
Some people can pound hard
Fucking
liquor.
die.
Are you one of those people? I
Um,
can't drink it for the life of me.
Dude.
But she can pound it.
And-
No issues.
Well, I had severe issues that night, so I was like, I came there with my friend, and her dad was the fucking police chief of the city that we were in, and my friend's mom saw me, and she saw how fucked up I was, and she's like, I'm gonna fucking take you home. So she propped me up against the fence, and I was sitting there wavering, and then I must have started puking and fell over. And they arrested me and put me in a cop car. I actually vividly remember this, but I remember that either I couldn't see because I was blacked out, or my eyes were closed, but I remember hearing the whole thing. And they decided instead of taking me to jail, they were just going to take me to the hospital because I was that fucked up. And then I got my stomach pumped.
Nice.
And I didn't get arrested.
So your friend's mom kind of called the cops on you?
No, she was getting her daughter or someone.
Why are the cops there?
It's Ohio, and everyone's white. So
It's a
the
football game.
Yeah, the cops
They are
were
always
somebody's
there.
Oh, so they
dad,
were
or
there.
the neighbor came out, and he was a friendly neighborhood
Yeah.
police officer, and everyone was white. So I was like, okay, let me help. Let me see what's going on over here.
And then there was one other time that I went to, I was 13 or 14. We used to go cosmic bowling.
Mm.
Yeah. And so we would wear different clothes in the car, and then we get there and we'd take off our layers and be in these fucking hoochie little clothes. So me and my friend Ashley, we were there and we were dancing.
The two Ashleys, they called them.
The Ashley twins.
Ashley twins, my bad.
We were fucking good dancers.
Oh, really?
And this little gaggle of women got a little jealous, and
Really?
a fucking brawl broke out. They just started
Really?
fighting
Throwdown,
us.
Yeah.
And you're 13.
Yeah.
Were you jacked here?
Uh,
or no? You're a little
kinda.
Ashley?
She's always been built like a mini
Really? Have
linebacker,
you?
but
Yeah.
not as jacked, I would
Yeah.
say. I have a picture of her in my car. Still, it's my favorite picture of her this time in your life, right?
Yeah.
13,
And I'm
14.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
badass
I,
Oh,
like-
my God, I gotta
attitude.
see that.
When
Yeah.
I was 11, I think I looked like I was 18.
Yeah.
I just forever have looked older than I am at that time. So we get in this
Races
fight,
and all.
and I just remember the cops trying to pull us apart, and this bitch had my hair, and they're pulling us apart, and she's holding me by my hair. I don't really know what instigated it. I just think they didn't like us, and then we
She
go.
just came at you at random?
Yeah.
She wanted that 3-piece and a soda.
That's right.
Gave it to
So
her.
we were going outside and we're arguing, and my dad was actually coming to pick us up, and my dad they were in the process of arresting all of us, and then my dad said some shit to the cops, and then I got let go. I don't really know exactly what he said or who he knew, But
So Ohio, you're
It's
white.
Ohio and you're white.
that was
done.
it. That was it.
All right. This will be, I think, my final question. It's one of my favorites, really. I like to do deep dives into stuff. What is the main thing you think about? Like, if I were to ask, and I don't know how to formulate this question properly, but I do know how to say it, or I do know how to explain it myself. What do you think about, like, when, like, your default thought, like, your default ambitions? I'll do mine first. So basically, if you, like, I do a bunch of shit, like, all day long. We're doing, like, multiple businesses. There's, like, I can't even think right now. There's a shit ton of stuff, like, fucking everything, dude. We do fucking everything. We're doing a podcast right now. This is one of the many layers of the onion. So I'm doing all this shit all day long. And it's basically just to get, like, money and stuff. And, of course, a good amount of, like, this is fulfilling. Hanging out with people, super fulfilling and stuff like that. Putting out, having a good company is fulfilling and stuff. But it's all, like, a means to something else,
Grow or
right?
die. You got to grow things.
But it's a means to something else is really the point, right? So we're doing all this stuff just to basically, like, really what I'm trying to do is I want to be super independently wealthy. I want to have a lot of fucking money because it leads to a lot of freedom. This is my main ambition with all this stuff. So I want a fuck ton of money so I could be really free. I love to sleep in, and I don't want to have to wake up and have anyone expect me to do anything. It's just like total freedom, right? Is really basically what I want to do. And once I have total freedom, I want to basically, I like to build things mostly. I built this table, built the half pipe, and I want to build robots. I want to start a robotics company, probably mainly. I like tech and stuff, and I like advancement and automation. And the way I see it is, we're basically in, like, this age of technology where there's, like, fucking crazy advancements in technology. Like, 100 years ago, dirt roads. Now we're fucking landing on the moon, fucking spaceship in your pocket.
Yep.
And then, like, what's the next step? I would like to be part of that real advancement. That's something that I could really kind of I just get excited about. I like to fucking build things, dude. So when I'm falling asleep at night, I was like, I want to wake up. If I were to just fall asleep and wake up, it's like, I want to wake up and I want to not have anything to fucking do, no responsibilities, and just be, like, happy and want to just think about building stuff. The problems that come about with building and tinkering and the way things fit together, or contraptions, you know, like engineering type stuff. So that's basically it. So what do you think about when you're, like, what's, like, your default? Or are you always wrapped up in, like, the rat race kind of 9 to 5 thing where it's, like, just making money? Or are you, like...
We're laughing because we talk about this all the time, because as we've gotten more successful with her coaching business, my career, our gym, and we've been able to kind of, like, not take our foot off the gas, but as you get money, you get freedom, and you're able to kind of, like, reevaluate your options. Like, I don't have to be a plumber anymore,
right,
like, every day. I don't have to risk my shit like that. I don't have to work that hard. So we have, like, business consultants and friends who are at that next level, or they have those freedoms, and they're always kind of asking us this question. So have you ever been asked this question? Because it's more formulated towards me, because I feel like you're doing what you love, and you're focused on that always.
Yeah.
So, but with me, I'm never able to answer this question because I never thought I was going to make it this far.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like a super, cool kids say that. Oh, I never thought I was going to be this old. I never thought I was going to make it. I thought I was going to die. I literally thought I was going to be incarcerated, like, before I turned 25. Like, I never thought I was going to see 30. I never thought I was going to get married. I never thought, because my parents both went to prison. And, you know, my dad's clean now, but my mom, she's in various stages of addiction at all times. Now, they both have jobs and they're functional, but there was a wasted life and wasted time there. And I always thought that I would, like, succumb to that wasted life and I wouldn't get so lucky, because just the way I lived my life was, I didn't have, the people that I looked up to were pieces of shit. I didn't have, I didn't have a plan. I had dreams, I guess, but it was more just kind of like day-to-day dreams than it was like, I want this at the end of the road.
Exactly.
So even now, the little bit of success that I have, I'm still stuck in the everyday. Like, if I'm preparing for a bodybuilding show, it's like, go to work, come home, train, and that's it. And I go to sleep, and I handle my responsibilities on the day-to-day, but it's very difficult for me to come up with the thing that...
Bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
Right.
So I honestly use you a lot. I'm like, I need to be the person that she needs, because I feel like I'm more, in our relationship, I'm more of a supporter than, you know, the leader or the captain of the ship. I'm more of, like, the guy that runs the ropes around or whatever. So that's usually what I think of, because I haven't really come to my decision of what I want to be when I grow up, or what really stokes the fire and motivates me. So right now it's you.
Oh, that's sweet.
What about you?
I think another good layer to this question is, it's kind of like, what would you do if you woke up and you had, like, $200 million in the bank account? I think that would kind of express pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do from there if you weren't working for money? And are you dreaming about that at all? Are you working to get money so you can do something else? Are you working as a means to something else? Or do you just do what you love every single day?
Kind of both. I feel like
I
right
think
now
both, yeah.
I'm super in love with everything I'm doing. I feel like
Nice.
I'm working more now than I was when I was working full time, which I'm in transition and still figuring out like where that happy balance is, because money isn't everything and it's easy just to say yes, 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 more. But I love helping people. I love lifting, and that process of taking everything that I know and not dumping it on someone else, but allowing someone else to have those tools is like, it's not, I can't
Sharing
express
knowledge.
it. Yeah. And then I miss traveling a lot. Like when I was a travel therapist, like before we met, or even when we first got together, we used to travel and go all the time. And it's like now with the way our lives are, and we have different short-term goals right now, which are preventing us from traveling, which I'm okay with. But like in general, exploring and making those memories together at this stage of our life, I really wish we could do. You know, I don't want to be that person that's like, I'm gonna wait when. It's like, I want that now.
Yeah.
So a little bit better.
You fall asleep thinking like, fuck, I want to go travel like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I was gonna say that. I kind of know that about you. I know you love traveling. I know you love the unpredictability and just seeing new things and new experiences. But like we've kind of put that on the shelf because what makes you successful in you know, she's a powerlifter, I'm a bodybuilder. What makes you successful in those two athletic fields, and also to an extent in the business that we're in, is just that every day punching the clock, making sure I'm there, making sure I eat all of my food, so I could travel and hopefully find a meal company and all this bullshit and figure it out. And we do that, and it's kind of stressful. Like when we went to New York, we were like, you know, I'd cook all my food. It was epic. It was like this huge, you know, thing.
Production.
It was huge production every day, and I'd have to carry it with me all over the place. Cause I'm sure you've been to the city, you got to walk everywhere. So it was like that. We kind of sacrificed those short-term, the traveling and the unpredictability and the excitement for, you want to win this, you want to win Boss of Bosses, and I want to be Mr. USA next year. And those goals are kind of, you know, right now we got to focus on the day-to-day and just make every day Groundhog's Day as we improve those things, as we're not really allowed to take the next step yet.
That's a really funny way of putting it. Every day is Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
That's the best movie. We watched that. Like,
Oh,
That was
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do wonder that a lot about people. It's like, because a lot of people do the same shit every single day. And
Yeah.
it's like, are you thinking about something else? Do you want to do that every single day? You ask me, it's like, dude, I do pretty exciting shit every fucking day.
Yeah.
Right.
But I still want to do more. I still actually dream of, like, a different life. So
Does it give you, well, I mean, our every day is different than the most person's every day, right? So, like,
Yeah,
people that
for
I work
sure.
with, they rent, they make a decent amount of money, but they take their one vacation a year, and they come home, they drink 18 fucking beers, they pass out, and they wake up, and that's their fucking life.
They do it over and
what,
over again.
what's on TV tonight at Thursday at
Mhm.
8:30, and who won American Idol, and all that stupid bullshit that I'm sure you guys don't give a fuck about, and we don't give a fuck about, because we're moving fast and we're moving forward. So our Groundhog's Day is a little different than that Groundhog's Day. It's like a more
Right.
progressive Groundhog's Day, but it gives me anxiety to think about people that aren't planning ahead like that.
that shit makes me nervous as fuck.
It makes me
dude.
nervous, dude. It's like,
But that's just
hold on.
complacency.
And especially when they're close to you, like, you know, they're like real close personal friends, and they, oh yeah, you work at fucking Starbucks and you're 28 and that's your fucking, you know, that's it. Like, they're, not that that's a bad thing, but just like in this society, whether you agree with, you know, politics the way they are or not, you need to constantly be growing, moving forward, and in all aspects, but mainly like career-wise, money-wise, you need to be planning, taking the next step, being aggressive, being out there,
It's one of
because
my
chance
founding
favors the bold.
principles,
Yeah.
dude. It's actually one of the founding principles. That was why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Was basically when we grew up, my mom was super poor, so we lived in like we weren't always in one-bedroom apartments, but a few for like a few fucking years at a time, and she worked at like 24-hour fitness. She had like multiple jobs here and there, no real career, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, I mean, I'm getting old. She was like 35 anyway, so she's like a full-blown adult. And anyways, yeah, it wasn't until I was about 16 that I kind of looked up and I saw her. I was like, wow, we're really fucking poor.
Yeah.
And if anything happens, like if you lose your job, we'll probably be homeless.
Yeah.
And these wheels started turning. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's really scary.
Yeah.
And that scared the shit out of me as a
Yeah.
kid. And that's when I was like, we need to start making money. And then that one thing, I was like, I want to make money. And I started, how to make money.
Yeah.
Started following all these entrepreneurs, reading all these different books. And that led into that. But at the core, it was like, it is
fear.
very scary if you're not there. That day-to-day like small job is not really security.
Yeah,
Right.
and
And if
that's
you're not
a-
really moving forward to something,
that's like a quickest way to like I feel like get old almost. I hate that term, like, when describing this, but, like, the quickest way to, like, just be stagnant or whatever is not to make yourself uncomfortable and not to, like, strive for the next thing. That's something that since I've been married with, I mean, my life was fucking Groundhog's Day in a bad way before I met Ashley. And ever since I got with her, we've only been together for 3 years, but it's like, every time we level up or we get to that next spot, oh, look, we both got good jobs. Oh, look, we buy this. Oh, look, we started this gym. It's always like, okay, just when things get settled, let's shake it the fuck up.
Yeah,
shake up the snow
exactly.
globe and see how much more we can reach, because you truly don't know what you're capable of until you're in just a little bit over your fucking head. And that's the same thing with progressive overload, with everything, with bodybuilding, with business, all this shit is you just need to keep kind of moving forward, because stagnation and if you're not stressed out, that's fucking death, man. That's like where your dreams just do not progress.
But I also feel like it's different here.
Oh, in California.
Yeah.
I've noticed
Yeah.
that
Big
too.
time here.
So it's like where I'm from, you can have a blue collar janitorial job
Whole
and
life.
make it and buy a home
Yeah.
and go on vacations and have assets and things.
Hmm.
Where here, you're fucking struggling to make it and you need that second job and you need that third job. So
Your
like
hustle.
the mindset is different here, which is why I like it here more, but also like he's the idea man who's like barking ideas at me, and then I'm the executor, so I'm performing and helping, and like together we grow, but not being afraid to do something even if you fail, or just I don't know, like I feel like my idea of death is growing up, getting married, having kids, and then repeat.
Yeah.
And not that I don't want kids, or not that that's not our happy life, like that's most of our friends' lives, but I just look at that
Yeah.
like that's so fucking
Like,
boring.
it's a waste of, look at all this, because look at everything you've accomplished in the last 5 years when all your friends are having kids, or a lot of your friends are having kids and they're getting married. Not that they're not living happy lives, but like they've never experienced that fucking moment when we opened the gym and everyone showed up and it was a fucking amazing, or then when we got sued and we had to close and it was like soul crushing and we just felt like they were eating our fucking Cheetos and there was nothing we could fucking do, and we had to like fight back from that, and we had to do all that construction so fast, and then we opened back up and all these people that we were there with, they came and they were supporting us and it was fucking the best feeling in the world again. They don't ever feel those highs,
Yeah.
but they also never feel the low lows like we feel. So
Yeah.
it's like
It's mostly
There's
lows, I think.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
well, you
mostly a
always-
struggle.
As a winner, you only focus on losing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're like, you know what it feels like to win. It almost becomes expected. Like when you're going into a shitty situation, you're like, not only am I a hard worker, but I'm a little bit lucky when it comes to this shit. I'm ready. I'm prepared. Opportunity and hard work, I'm there. And then you expect to win, but you only remember your big L's. You know what I mean? Like truly, like. And I remember the big L's when it comes to the gym and all that shit. And it's, yeah. I don't know when this turned into. What did you ask to start this? It went off on a fucking tangent there.
What were
Oh,
Yeah,
what
what
do
are
you like?
like what
Yeah,
you really
in this
want to
life.
do,
Yeah.
rather than just like, I know you don't want to wake up and go plumbing and just do this or that. Or that.
You know how we
It's
talk.
a question we keep talking about all the
It's
time
really
right now.
prevalent in our lives right now, because I feel like the person that I am, asshole, chauvinist, whatever you want to fucking call it, hedonist would be it. What is it, hedonist?
Yeah.
But I feel like the person that I am is very influenced by the fact that I get up at 4:30 in the morning and I go to a place where I can throw things around, break them, yell at people, and
Do you really yell at people though? Because
I
I feel like
fucking love it.
Oh, he's a
You know
fucking
what?
alpha brute at
Fucking
work.
Are
love
you
it.
really?
Yeah.
Because
Well, you
it's
have
funny
to be.
that you say that. You're like, I'm a brute, all this stuff. But I don't see it at all. But you know what's
nice.
funny is I
Thank
say
you.
that same shit about myself. I go like, oh, I'm a fucking dick, whatever. And other people are like, oh, you're not. Like I always say like, oh, I'm a fucking dick, whatever. Like you're not a dick.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of like your perception of
No,
yourself.
at his
and
construction
stuff.
site, he literally
Oh,
is
are you?
like,
So you're the
you fucking
really-
piece of shit, you better do this or get
Really?
the fuck out of the
Well,
way.
you gotta,
Oh, yeah.
You're dealing with felons and people that don't
Dude.
speak good English, so you need to.
I did that shit.
There's
That
still,
shit
I mean, you're
sucked.
sure, yeah, and it's commercial, so
They
it's
would
not
yell
like
at me like that.
Yeah, and you gotta you have to be like that, or else you're just gonna get washed
Strong
away.
arm your way into.
And and I feel like getting up every day, like how you want to just not be. I want that too. I want to just wake up and sleep in and all that shit. I've done it all this week, but it's like I feel like I would lose a part of who I am. Like
I feel it's highly tied to the male identity.
yeah, I feel like my job is highly tied to the male identity, but I also feel like the toughness and my success, especially in bodybuilding and all this other shit, it comes from that. Every morning that fucking alarm clock goes off, I need to go somewhere that I hate and do something that I don't like. And she vehemently disagrees with this. She thinks, because, she'll see me after a couple days rest away from the job site and I'm a fucking sweetie, like today. But usually it's like, I'm fucking exhausted.
Well, you're right. That's actually a big part of it too. Is when you're waking up to go to. This was new to her, so she was 17 when I first met her, and she graduated high school like the same year and stuff. And she came into living life with me, and I was there crushing hard entrepreneurship every day. I would grow weed. And I would grow weed all fucking day long, and then I would also sell weed from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single fucking day. For years, it was like this. And people would fucking call me at 3 in the morning. They had no respect. They'd call me at 6 in the morning and whatever. And if I tried to set hours like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., you can fucking hit me up.
I was there packaging up weed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she came into this world where it was like, you're doing shit that you don't want to do. And she got a little upset. Like, she was full, young, sweetheart, all nice, not a care in the world, just happy about everything. But then it's like you live a couple days in the life of doing shit you don't want to do for people you don't really like.
Yeah.
And it's like...
It's grating.
Yeah. And she got a little angry and was just generally cranky. Not, like, terrible or anything, but you could tell...
Broken.
Yeah, like the child, like it was literally like broken, going from like happy world to like I'm just generally more pissed off, even at things that don't necessarily deserve it.
Yeah, that's.
I think we both have different philosophies. I follow my happiness, and whatever direction that's taking me is where I pursue. And he feels like, and that's where I feel like is going to lead me to success, is following my happiness. And he feels like the path to success is only paved by hard work, and if it's not hard, you're not going to be successful. And I don't feel like life should be hard, and I don't. And we just have very, very different, it's totally black and white aspects of that.
And that's why it's so refreshing, like, and here I am, I'm going to fucking kiss your ass on this podcast, that's fine. So refreshing meeting you, and you're not like this big, because obviously you're wealthy, you're successful, but you're not a fucking douche. And that's, I don't really see that a lot when young people that have money. I don't know what it is. I know a lot of them have worked hard, and a lot of them have sacrificed a lot to get where they're at. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel this, like, sense of entitlement. But, like, when we were in there powerlifting, you were, like, taking fucking cues, listening. You weren't trying to make a fucking spectacle of the whole fucking thing. You were actually, like, accepting being a novice, accepting learning, and it was, like, humble, like a humility or something. And that's, like, so commendable. But you don't, and I don't want to say I don't want to lose that, but I just, there's the disconnect there for me where it's like I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I would still be me.
You don't know, right? Your identity is so
tied
tied
I identify
to it.
so much with this. Like I'm a plumber. I put on my fucking boots. I go to fucking work. I lift huge pies. I break shit.
Dude, I remember that life exactly. I remember that whole lifestyle because all the guys there, man. It's like the fucking every day. It's like you're tired. You could fucking sleep when you're dead and lift the, don't fucking wear gloves, don't wear a mask, inhale the dust, inhale the fucking asbestos, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole lifestyle.
Yeah. So, and I do see an end to it eventually. I'm hoping that when we expand the gym, it becomes something that will make us, because we make enough money now to live the way we live, but we're not growing at the rate we're growing. If she's working 2 jobs, we have the gym that's making money, and then I'm also working my job, and it's all going into this, and then the apartment building is almost in the green too. So it's like, we don't have this, I feel like if we remove one of the wheels of our car, it's not going to go as fast. And that comes, that kind of anxiety we were talking about when you come from like nothing, you're like, fuck, like if we slow down at all, we're going to fucking fall behind. You know what I mean? Because everyone else is out there is going as hard as they can go.
If you did YouTube, that would be really good. I encourage everyone to do YouTube, especially you guys that are such good speakers and just killing it already. Like I'm an okay speaker and stuff. Like I could speak from the heart and shit, but I'm generally, like, you put a camera in my face, I'm going to be nervous. It's going to be a learning curve.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are already kind of a natural, so maybe I would capitalize on that.
Well, he's just a ham.
You know what it is? It's a giant act. You just act. You save yourself like a couple intelligent sentences and use large words, but you keep those close to the vest.
Well, dude, you fucking know the game then.
Then when you're interviewed, you make a couple grunting noises.
It's your special skill.
You make a couple grunting noises. You pound the table. And then when someone asks you about your wife, you repeat those regurgitated sentences, get real sweet, get emotional, because now here comes big guy showing his heart, and then you move on, and everyone thinks, oh, what a sweetie.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows you're full of shit.
We'll
fix that in post.
Well, no, that's fucking smart. But yeah, I just think YouTube and like podcasting, it's like the single most effective way to like just kind of like network, meet people, get new opportunities and stuff. And like no part of me at all. I wasn't even on social media myself 2 years ago. Like, dude, Herbstrong was like the first real company that we put out. That was our first time on social media. I still don't have a Facebook or anything like that. I just got on Instagram myself. Like, well, I guess when Herbstrong started and stuff, but yeah, I'm not very big on social media or anything like that. Like, I don't want any amount of fame at all. Yeah. I think there's a quote that goes something about, like, the wise man won't seek fame for any
it's a fool's
novel ways of living. Yeah, exactly, because there's a lot of issues that come with it, a lot of people criticizing you or whatever. So I definitely see that, and I don't want any part of that. But I feel like it's important for a couple of reasons, because one, it makes me nervous, and if it makes you nervous, it's if you can't, you must, right? Yeah. So it's like, oh, I don't want to get a camera. It's okay, let's fucking gear up, put a camera in your face. Let's see if you have what it takes. Let's see if you could push through that. So there's that aspect of it, of kind of the growth that comes from having a mic in your fucking mouth and a camera in your face. And then there's also the opportunity that is, it's just crazy, dude. Like, you know who's podcasting nowadays? Tom Bilyeu, Rob Dyrdek, just really, really big entrepreneurs that are inviting down people like me in my own industry to like come and collaborate. And that's how, I mean, just opportunities happen.
Yeah.
And just the opportunity aspect of it. And then also the challenge of being able to have a camera in your face and still be self-conscious and kind of just put yourself out there anyways and take the hate and all that. So the learning experience and the opportunity.
I can't wait to hear the comments on this YouTube. What's wrong with that guy? He looks like he smells weird.
Is that Aquaman stunt double?
Is that Aquaman? Aquaman really took a fall after that, after his first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can read it already now.
No, I would love to do a podcast.
No, this has been fun.
Yeah, people ask me all the time. So I do this thing called Toxin Walks. I don't know if on my story.
I think I saw something like that.
Yeah, so like twice a week I post like the little...
I didn't know what it was really though.
Question sticker for Toxin Walk. So I literally answer the questions and talk while I'm walking my dogs because my day is usually so filled back to back to back that's like my function. I'm all about functionality, so I just fit it into my day. But I walk the dogs twice a day. So, but people have said I always want to go back because people ask questions about lifting, physical therapy stuff, life stuff, whatever, and they're like, I want to go back to these answers. You should just make it a podcast, like a Q&A kind of podcast. And I've entertained the idea in my mind several times. I think it's just one of those things of like I should just jump in and do it and wedge out time for that instead of filling it with something else. Yeah.
I've been thinking of doing a girl.
We're going to make her do it too, just because.
Yeah.
Just for growth
Yeah.
purposes.
Everyone told me to do a podcast. Like, you should do a podcast. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. And I'm fucking out here doing it, right, and stuff. And when I flip the script, I'm like, yeah, why don't you come and get on the podcast? And stuff. Like, yeah, you know. It's like instantly. It's one thing to talk about. It's a whole nother when it's happening. So
a lot of people aren't good at this form of, what would it be, communication? I don't even know. Media. I guess it's like, but this is what jail is. This is how it is. It's just like sit around and bullshit, tell stories. And I love podcasts. I love this form of media. It's one of my favorites. Radio, podcasts. I've always tried to get you into this as much as I can because I just think it's badass.
Well, I hate reading, so.
True. And Ashley, Dr. Ashley hates reading. She hates books.
Well, you could just listen to audiobooks.
I do, because I'm a very, very slow reader.
Yeah, no, I can't even barely read, dude.
So I love audiobooks. Yeah.
You know, I don't even think anyone ever really taught me how to read. I was a bad student in school. I don't think.
You barely went to school.
You're like
I
the
barely
best,
went to school.
like suck it teachers story
no,
ever.
for real.
Like,
so in 8th grade, so in 6th grade, so when I was a kid, so like through elementary school, I basically didn't do too great, whatever. I was kind of just a normal kid, fucking stupid, just trying to learn stuff, right? When I was in 4th grade, I moved to Hawaii. The standards are super low. Again, just kind of did whatever. 5th grade, I did okay. 6th grade, that was my best year. I had like a 3.5 or whatever. I was being a good kid. 7th grade, we fucking started smoking weed and doing drugs and stuff like that. Immediately plummeted from there. 8th grade, got kicked out of regular school and went to continuation school where we smoked weed inside of that class, took shots inside of that class. There was a substitute one time and we threw books at him. That was a regrettable thing. I can't remember if I threw a book at him, but kids threw it started off with pencils, spitballs, and someone threw a dictionary at him. He was an old guy. It was a bad school, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And so I didn't really learn much there. And shortly after that, I got independent studies where I didn't do any work forever. I don't know how I made it. We're lucky I could wipe my own butt, to be honest.
You're here?
No, you are. You're an accumulation of everything you've learned and everything you've been through. So obviously,
I love to learn stuff. Like I love to take in, media and stuff, YouTube and shit. I was into conspiracy theories and studying different concepts and shit like that. But the whole school thing was fucked. I don't think it's school, but definitely wanting to take in knowledge. And once I got a hold of books, it was like boom.
Yeah.
Like that shit was hardcore. I learned a lot from. There's a bunch of entrepreneurs out there, like billionaire entrepreneurs, that write their thoughts down, and you could read it, and you could literally basically sit down and talk with a billionaire. You could learn a lot from people like this for sure.
That's like a trait that I don't hear. Like when you think about traits in your partner, what would you want? You want loyalty. I hear that all the time. Respect, all this stupid bullshit, but curiosity. Curiosity and grit. Like, those are like the two things you want in someone who's close to you at all times. Like, if they're curious about things, even if they're dumb as fuck, like, at least they want to learn.
Right,
They wanna
right.
be, that's like maybe in your kids too. You want them to be like tough, and you want them to learn things. Like, you just want them to be like, oh, what's this? How does this work? Oh my God, there's so much shit out there to learn. There's so many things out there to be passionate about.
I think we'll just wrap it up right there. We'll do a hard
want-
close.
Okay.
Well, you want to say something else?
No, I thought we prepared
Go.
a small song. Ashley's gonna lead.
Okay, let's go.
Do you want to go ahead and
Stop.
keep that to yourself?
That's one of those things
Yeah,
we're
that's
doing.
tricky. I was
Maybe-
like, all
Was it a
right.
freestyle rap or a song?
Stop it.
We'll wrap it up. I feel like I messed up your guys' food. I messed up your guys' workout. You were going to the train with your partner?
I have not
This
now.
has been fucking
We're gonna
cool.
This has been
This has been
cool.
good for us.
Yeah.
It's been good for us. We haven't hung out like this in forever.
I know. We haven't done anything
worked out.
unplanned.
Yeah.
It just kind of worked out perfectly, so
That's
I'm
the,
glad
well,
we
I do
kinda
want to say
stuck with-
something.
Okay.
Just like on board with kind of the theme of what we've been talking about, and hopefully maybe this will be advice to you guys. Something that we've realized when we like take a step back and look at where we're at in our relationship, we're like, oh, we used to do this together, and like there's been 2 vacations now that we've canceled. Like it was booked, flights were booked, hotels, we lost the money, whatever, because of shit getting in the way, and we're realizing that we're missing out on opportunities and experiences, not for our business but for us.
Relationship gains, they're so
Yeah.
important. So as you're busier and busier and busier, you need to, just like you need to schedule your work day, you need to schedule your workouts and your rest days when you're working out. You need to schedule like time just to work on your relationship, whether it's a vacation, whether it's dinner, whatever it is. You need those periods where you're
And we have been losing sight of it a little bit. And like today, like I said, when we got here, I was actually excited just to come here because it was like I knew we were going to drive together and spend the day
sitting in
together.
traffic was fucking sweet.
And we've been so wrapped up in everything we're doing to grow everything outside of us that we've been losing a little bit of us.
You need to remember who you were before all this fucking exterior bullshit like came in.
That was exactly the question. It was like you have all this bullshit of you have like you basically lose the forest for the trees or
Yeah.
however it goes.
Yeah.
It's like you have all these fucking things. It's like, what do you really
Yeah,
want to do?
really.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
So, do you
Oh,
have like,
you
a
guys were
hard-
fucking dope.
How do you do the close? Do you like?
Dude, if fucking anyone made it to this point, that'd be fantastic. If anyone's listening out there,
You're still there.
thank you so much for listening.
Show me your boobs.
Yeah.